story team, overall trước thì mình sẽ collect feedback từ phía hôm nay có cả team brand lẫn là team creative, có
Mark ở BOV hơi lag.
Nếu chờ tham dự không là mình có thể đi đến việc nhỉ?
Mình cũng thấy hơi lag đó, không biết là phải từ phía mạng không nhỉ, từ phía mạng của BOV không nhỉ?
Nghe nó hơi vang, nhiều nên là nhiều con nghe được thì An cứ nói nghe. Mình đi làm những cái chính thôi nhỉ, cái mà point mà từ đợt trước xong mình đã update lại như nào thì đi qua cho team làm nhanh, xong rồi chắc là một lúc nữa bác sẽ vào.
Ok, chắc thì mình đang session rồi thì chắc là mình đi qua sơ để mọi người overview qua nhé.
Ok.
Thì ok, có phần nào mà nghe không rõ thì mọi người cứ việc pause từ phía bên CD để CD nói lại nhé. Thì hôm nay thì mình sẽ đi trình bày cái V3 một chút. Thì để mà recap, thì theo feedback từ mọi người hôm bữa thì mình nhận tin là về phía bên lãnh đạo thì mọi người đang thích về phía nghiêng hơn về định hướng B, định hướng direction 2. Và cái mà điểm mà mình CD nhận được là mình thích những cái phần mà media forward, cái tính sử dụng những cái cách media, cái cách chân mảnh section của cái section direction B2, nhưng mà tuy như vậy nhưng direction 1 á, thì mình cũng nghe là mình sẽ muốn vẫn giữ cái tinh thần và cái sự precision rồi elegant của cái direction 1, và làm sao để mà mình có thể kết hợp cả hai cái này để tạo ra một cái định hướng mà nó sẽ hoàn chỉnh và nó sẽ phù hợp hơn. Thì ngoài cái điểm chính đó là combine hai cái định hướng 1 và 2 này, CD cũng nghe hiểu về feedback á, thì mình cũng sẽ muốn là giảm thiểu một số cái như là những cái section mà nó bị dài quá về mặt kiểu độ tối sáng. Mình sẽ muốn simplify lại cái cấu trúc style thiết kế cho cái CTA khác nhau để mình giảm cái sự variance, tăng cái grid alignment giữa một số cái yếu tố trong section, giảm thiểu negative space trong một số section key, ví dụ như cái phần mà cost trong cái direction 1 của mình. Và cuối cùng là cũng khá quan trọng, đó là cái phần mình có thể streamline cái phần copywriting để mà nó đồng nhất và nó có một cái tính consistent hơn trong cái trang. Thì như vậy thì CD đã cũng update làm sao để mà mình có thể kết hợp được hai cái định hướng visual direction này. Định hướng 1 thì nó sẽ giữ cái tính sang trọng, định hướng 2 thì nó sẽ làm sao để mà mang cái media to hơn và làm một cái điểm tập trung nhiều hơn của cái visual. Thì hôm nay chắc mình sẽ trình bày 3 trang là homepage, cái trang course detail và cái trang landing page của cái awarding body là cái University of London. Cho cái trang homepage thì mình cũng có nhận feedback là cái hero này mọi người muốn tách nền ra để mà mình có giữ được cái sự legibility trên những cái nền khác nhau, và cũng như mình sẽ có flexibility hơn trong cái việc là cái overlay này sẽ không cần quá tối. Thì cái này bọn mình cũng đã chỉnh lại ở đây. Mình nghĩ cái đây là cái giải pháp đơn giản nhất mà mình có thể làm được, nó sẽ không bị quá clunky, nhưng mà vẫn giữ clarity trong thiết kế. Ngoài ra thì mình sẽ vẫn để cái hero như cũ. Xuống dưới cái phần find your course này thì bọn mình có thế một cái phần hero lớn hơn ở đây để mà mình có thể tạo thêm một cái visual anchor nhiều hơn cho cái trang, cho cái mục này, cũng như là cũng sắp xếp chia lại một số cái phần khóa trong đây. Và hai cái phần dưới đây thì bọn mình có nghĩ lại một tí, thì bọn mình sẽ advise là mình sẽ muốn để cái Nursery Preparation và cái Postgraduate ở đây là hai cái nhánh khác. Tại vì trong những cái according trong đây thì mình sẽ muốn để những cái industry, và những industry này nó sẽ có list những cái undergraduate rồi. Ngoài ra mình phải luôn luôn có cái search để mà người ta có thể search cái gì người ta muốn cũng được. Phía dưới thì mình sẽ có cái phần Explore British Degree. Thì cái này thì mình sẽ có như cũ thôi, nhưng mà mình sẽ dàn trải cái section này hơn để mình nối tốt hơn những cái section trước. Cái tiếp theo là cái section mà Y2CBV. thì cái này thì mình cũng mượn từ định hướng B nhiều hơn, là mình sử dụng media to hơn và integrate nhiều hơn vào trong cái thiết kế của cái section này. Ngoài ra mình vẫn giữ cái sensibility về mặt sự sử dụng màu sắc và typography của cái option 1, của cái direction 1. Xuống cái phần này bọn mình có đảo lại cái thứ tự một tí để mà nó trôi, để mà cái phần hình ảnh nó không bị kế bên nhau trong cùng một bên đó. Thì ở đây cái phần hình ảnh mình đã đảo vào bên phải. Và ngoài ra thì mình sẽ có những cái phần thông tin bên đây, mình cũng còn làm consistent, làm những cái phần liên quan đến cái CTA để mà nó consistent hơn. Là đều có sử dụng cái mũi tên này thay vì là cái vừa gạch dưới vừa mũi tên. Mọi người cũng sẽ thấy cái đó reflect ở trong những cái section ở đây. Ngoài ra section này thì bọn mình có nhận feedback lần trước thì nó hơi bị tối quá ở dưới cái layout cũ, thì bọn mình update lại để mà nó simplify hơn. Và nó cũng mượn từ cái direction B để mà merge vào cái direction 1 này nhiều. Thì nó sẽ có một cái banner hình ảnh và dưới sẽ là những cái accordion mà người ta có thể mở ra để mà xem thêm là những cái khía cạnh khác nhau của cái student experience. Và ra bọn mình cũng viết lại cái copy ở đây để mà mình tất cả đa số cái cách mà viết những cái headline như thế này hoặc là những cái CT thì bọn mình đang đều thống nhất với nhau là sẽ sử dụng sentence case, nghĩa là viết hoa chỉ cái đầu và những cái tên riêng trong đó thôi. Ngoài ra thì mình sẽ viết nó đơn giản hết để mà mình vừa thống nhất tiếng Việt vừa thống nhất tiếng Anh để dễ dàng hơn trong tương lai. Cái nó sẽ giảm cái trường hợp là trong tiếng Việt những từ trong tiếng Việt nó thành hai từ, một từ cái nhịp điệu nó sẽ vẫn đồng nhất với nhau giữa desktop và giữa tiếng Anh và tiếng Việt. Phần này thì bọn mình có update lại cái thiết kế để mà nó flow tốt hơn vào cái section với cái thiết kế mới này. Ngoài ra thì bọn mình cũng viết lại cái CTA phần trên này, connect with our advisor, để mà nó mang tính chất hành động hơn, và inquire now được viết lại thành một cái CTA đơn giản và streamline hơn nhiều hơn trước. Những cái CTA cũng đã được update từ cái dạng gạch dưới thành cái dạng mũi tên để mà nó đồng nhất từ trên đến dưới. Cuối cùng là cái phần news and event này thì bọn mình có chỉnh lại những cái như là cái phần eyebrow này để mà nó được tách ra từ phần ảnh, nhưng mà nó cũng sẽ không bị giống một cái nút như lần trước nữa. Bên đây thì mình có nhận feedback là maybe mình sẽ muốn cân nhắc một cái mũi tên để mà mình dẫn link tới những cái phần sau. Tuy nhiên sau khi bọn mình thử thì bọn mình cảm thấy nó không make sense lắm, tại vì những cái phần này mình sẽ muốn truncate những cái phần text là một, thì cái mũi tên nó sẽ cũng hơi awkward tới cái visually với mình add cái mũi tên như vậy. Hai là cái format card này là một cái card format mà mình cảm thấy là rất là phổ biến trên web, đặc biệt là những trang tin tức, những cái trang những tin tức hoặc là những cái trang mà báo, thì mình cảm thấy là những cái này là một cái practice và một cái model mà đa số mọi người xài web người ta sẽ vẫn hiểu được cái use case này. Rồi qua nó cũng sẽ giống một cái card đó, thì bọn mình quyết định là những cái gì mà là CTA là nút thì mình để mũi tên thôi, còn những cái gì khác như những cái card này thì mình không nên để mũi tên để mà nó đồng nhất và cũng như clean hơn về mặt visual. Cuối cùng phần Get in Touch thì bọn mình có update thêm một số cái phần ba cái CTA này để mà nó rõ hơn về mặt kiểu những cái đối tác khác nhau và chia làm employer, school và corporate partner. Mình sẽ đi nhanh qua mobile một chút. Mình cũng muốn trình bày một tí ở đây thì bữa trước thì mình cũng có nghe câu hỏi là về mặt mở này ra, thì mình cũng có clarify thêm cái phần thiết kế ở đây. Khi mà người ta mở cái link này ra thì nó sẽ sổ xuống những cái ngành khác nhau, mỗi cái ngành mỗi cái degree hoặc là course khác nhau. Một cái course này thì nó sẽ có cái phần tên và cũng như cái awarded by một cái của cái awarding body. Ở đây thì bọn mình đang suggest là mình sẽ không có lặp lại cái phần mà bachelor hoặc là những cái phần ở đầu á, để mà tăng cái tính scalability, tại vì trên web ở UX á, thì đa số người đọc người ta sẽ đọc theo chữ đầu trước thay vì người ta sẽ đọc kiểu hoàn toàn một cái câu á. Nên bọn mình suggest là mình sẽ simplify lại một tí, nhưng mà mình sẽ vẫn đương nhiên trong cái khi bấm vào cái course detail rồi thì nó sẽ vẫn có cái tên đầy đủ chính thức và formal hơn, nhưng mà cái này sẽ giúp clarify cho kiểu cha mẹ hoặc là học sinh người ta đọc thì người ta sẽ scan tốt hơn. Ở đây thì bọn mình cũng để một cái ví dụ trước, một cái sample về alternative hero mà khi mình để full bleed mà không có cái mảng màu trắng, nếu như mọi người vẫn muốn cân nhắc cái option này. Cái này thì đương nhiên mình sẽ, như mình nói thì overlay mình sẽ cần phải tối hơn.
Ok, để thầy cho Huy xin vài phút để discuss trên cái homepage này, xong rồi sẽ
Ừ.
chia sẻ với anh. Ok. Cho mình xin lại cái xin lại cái link của cái này đi, cho xin lại cái link của cái này để mà kiểu sẽ mở lên cho mọi người xem ở bên này luôn đấy, thì đỡ phải
Ừ. Dạ.
gửi gửi
Nam
gửi.
Nam ơi, Nam gửi Nam gửi lại cho cái có mình Excel, xong gửi lại cái link được không?
Ok, ok.
Mình gửi link qua đâu nhỉ?
Nam gửi cho nhà Nam.
Ok,
Vừa
thế
vừa
rồi đây để gửi cho mọi người. Thì mọi người có muốn nghe discuss nội bộ không, hay là để sang nhá, cho bọn Huy xin mấy phút nhá.
Ừ.
Okay, team. How is here? So yeah, you can continue the presentation. We have already note our feedback and we will provide it at the end after you guys finish.
Okay, cool. So we can go on to the next one.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go over the course detail. So this page, I think we already shown some version of it at a low 5 for both homepage, mobile and desktop. You can see here there's gonna be some adjustment of both the design and the language and CTA of some of the sections. So for this page, we decided to keep it more streamlined and kind of focus on maintaining a very clear and consistent content flow, inspiring from other site like the University of Sydney, for example, and kind of decided to keep the content width of the section a bit narrower, so the content is more condensed and easier viewable, and the flow of the content is much more streamlined and single versus something like a landing page where the section is very delineated because their topic is very different. So here you see there's a hero with the name of the program and then some like a ranking number. And then see here there's some jump link that you can click on to jump to any of the section below. And then you go to the overview with information on the different aspect of the course, very easy to view and kind of at a glance provide core information for student parents. Going down to the overview, this is where we imagine the bulk of the kind of course information could lie. We suggest that we keep a kind of very short paragraph to begin with, and then read more to expand and show more of the content in this page so that the visitor have the option to see more. But so we can add more text here without overwhelming the visitor. And we think like try to prioritize the most important thing in the single first paragraph should be the priority here. And then anything else less important should be behind or read more, just because we don't want to overwhelm the visitor with information. Here we imagine some kind of imagery that showcase a student in the classroom would be nice. And then below we are thinking some key overview insight about the course and the USP for the program or the course. Things like what is it awarded by, how's the ranking, what's the kind of overall things you need to know with some icons. And then going down, we have a awarding body highlight. In this case, we are showing an example where the awarding body is actually 2 different universities, being the first being a UK university and then the other being the BUV. A visitor can select either of the 2 to show the information beneath. But as you can see here for UOL, we're imagining it could show the ranking, but also some information that you can click learn more to go to the award body detail page of that university. Going down, we have some outcome and graduate statistic. This is gonna have some brief information about what you should expect coming out of this program, but also some statistic to showcase some real proof to that claim. And then going down, we have the alumni story. You see here, the section is a little bit different than the homepage because we want to make sure that because this page is already so long and it's going to have a lot of text, we want to simplify it to just having the profile of the alumni and then some information on where they're working right now. And then you can read their story by clicking to the link below or click here to watch the video. You can still click on CEO alumni story to see all the alumni story. Below, we have the entry requirement page, section where you can click on the accordion to show a short condensed view of the specific course entry requirement broken down by academic or English proficiency. And on the right, we have a intake CTA where it showcases what is the next intake for this specific course. And then, there's another link where you can see the application calendar if you want more of a broader view of the course and how the different intake gonna look like, and what the key dates, and then how to apply. Just give you some steps on what do you need to apply, kind of a more detailed version of this entry requirement, but providing more step-by-step instruction. And then we have a connect with advisor. This is going to take you to the inquiry now page where you can fill out a form and leave your contacts to be consulted by a advisor. We're trying to keep it simple here, which is a single CTA here to streamline the process because we already have tuition and other scholarship-related information below. This page, this section, we're imagining it could have some breakdown of the different sections. You see here, we're using some dark color background for the section as well to kind of break up the kind of color tone of the page. You see here, we have the VND to USD converter and going to the scholarship program where you can click into any of these to view that specific scholarship or click here to see all the different scholarships on offer. And then for the course structure, see here, this is an accordion. It's gonna be one of them gonna be open by default. Visitor can click on different year to see different subjects being taught per year. And then they can click to expand and see different information per like class that they have to take. Going down, global learning opportunity, we're thinking here, we could have some entry with of the different UK institution that you can study abroad at BUV. Here we are using as an example, the UOL campus as an example image, and then you can click on these accordion to read more about different ways you can go study abroad. And then going down, we have a frequently asked question. Clicking here, another CTA with an arrow will lead you to a page with all of the FAQ really summarized and concentrate in one place. And then we have the related news section where it showcases related news related to this specific course. That's the that is the desktop, and then the mobile. I'm gonna go through quickly. Very much the same, just some note on certain things. We need to certify into one column to maintain an easy, legible information and overview. Whenever we have so much text that we want to show on desktop but not on mobile, we suggest using something like a read more to ensure that the amount of text on mobile doesn't seem too overwhelming. And the key, and as I said before, we should try to write information that's really important towards the beginning of the paragraph and the beginning of the text versus somewhere in the middle at the end. See here what our alumni say. So it's accordion, requirement, next intake, connect with an advisor, tuition support, scholarship programs, course structure, global learning opportunity, and frequently asked question. And just a note, like we imagine this gonna be sticky, so visitor can at any time click on any of these sections to title to jump to the corresponding section that they want on both desktop and mobile. Yeah, before we continue, you have any thoughts or feedback you wanna give here?
Yeah, so one question, is this the current sequence of information on our current website for courses?
Thank you. It is mirroring it, but with some difference in that we are highlighting things like the statistic outcome a little bit sooner. And then obviously we're gonna have a section like the alumni story much more prominent to showcase the truth and the testimonial.
So a couple of things. I've got a couple of macro things and a couple of micro things. The flow's all wrong. It's not very customer friendly, particularly if I'm doing research about a particular course. So there are a number of sections that need to be put in slightly different places, and then there are a number of sections that need to be taken out. So if I can perhaps give you my point of view, I think the overview is great. I think the box, the component that's got the 4 icons in it, I think the reality of the situation is that at least one of those needs to be about the jobs that you can get, and it's part of the overview page. And I think that there needs to be more detail about whether it's here are the key subjects that you study within the overall program. So whether it's economics, maths, whatever the hell it is, right? So we need to be clearer about that. I think we are spending way too much time emphasizing the awarding body, and it's in the wrong place. Parents are not that interested in the awarding body at the beginning of the conversation. They're interested in the course. They're interested in the jobs that their kids can get when they study the course. Then the alumni is proof of the kids getting jobs in the study of that course. Then they want to know how much it costs. And then they might be interested in the awarding body if we're bothered to talk about it that much. So I think the sequencing of the page is all wrong as a template structure for all of our courses. So I think we need to have a think about that overall. I think there are a couple of key things that I would like to suggest that we also build as part of a kind of rules. If you go down to the alumni section of the page, I would be very, very keen for us to use a logo rather than a word, because I have no idea. Unilever Vietnam is super tiny. KPMG Ireland is super tiny, and that doesn't look very impressive as far as an alumni story. Photos of alumni, honestly, they're much bigger than I think they need to be from a design point of view. That's not my kid, so I don't care. And frankly, one of the design things that we need to do is if they're an alumni, I don't want a graduation photo. I want a photo of them in their job. Could be anybody. I want to see them standing behind or in front of a Unilever logo. I want to see them standing outside the building with the logo on the side of the. So our alumni stories need to be real stories. None of that looks real. It's both image and more necessary kind of content in that regard. Then the whole section on scholarships needs to come out. There needs to be a call to action on tuition and financial support. There needs to be a CTA on there that says find out about scholarships. The whole bottom section that you've got there, programs needs to come out. They need to navigate to the scholarship page. I'm not interested in putting scholarships on every course page. Makes the course page way too long. Okay. And then course structure, I think, should be much further up. Parents are interested in. I think where you've got the awarding body bit at the moment in the layout is where that course structure should sit from a hierarchy of information point of view, and then the next section down comes out completely. Global learning opportunities on a different part of the website altogether. Don't care. Not interested in selling global opportunities in my real estate. I think frequently asked questions also something that's important, but again, I'm concerned about the navigation changing. So if I want to see all the frequently asked questions, why is the call to action a different call to action? So again, we just need to be really consistent about design elements and components. Every call to action should be call to action, not 3 different variations of a call to action, because it's not consistent.
Can you talk more about that last part on this specific link? Are you referring to the CEO FAQ link?
Yes. You've got to make the navigation really intuitive. So if every other CTA is a red box, then see all FAQs should be a red box. You're taking that scholarship stuff out. How to apply is a box. Inquire now is a box. So anything that is a call to action needs to have a consistent design, in my opinion.
I like to offer a kind of different perspective on that. Like, I think like we can have multiple type of link or call to action because I think, first of all, I think it's a very common convention on the web is to have multiple style of call to action. And then it provides us with this way to make sure that we have a hierarchy of call to actions. So for section, whenever a section we have multiple call to action, we can have a way for us to highlight or kind of showcase which is the important. If everything is a red box, we think that it could risk that, everything seems important, everything's going to be the same level, even though there may be action that are more important than others, but also some action we feel are more secondary. Like, for example, alumni story, DO alumni story is a secondary action. Like, we want people to click on these kind of profile and story first. That's the main action. That's why the profile, like the image is big, and you can see it's take the most real estate, versus the alumni stories is like, oh, if they already interested in these kind of main action that we are offering, then the secondary link provide a way for you to give them that, like more way to explore, versus like that being the primary thing. So that's kind of like our intention on having multiple style of CTA. And I think that's a very straightforward convention that people are used to on the web, on multiple different websites. So
yeah,
I'm
not arguing that. I just think that the reality of the situation is that we need to be very clear about how that works from a layout perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, I think we need, if we have a set of design principles that there are three versions of a call to action, or
Yes.
one is a call to action and one is for more information. So there's a difference between a call to action and a find out more, right? So
Yes.
that I'm happy with, but you used the language of call to action when you said see all FAQs as a call to action, and it's not. So again, maybe it's just me listening from your presentation perspective, but I think we need to be really clear about what the rules are and the hierarchy of that in that context. Okay.
I have another question. Like early on, we heard that ranking, and specifically, what program stand out at BUV, but also like what is the academic quality at BUV is. And we heard that like ranking is important, and things like statistic is important. Do you feel like the ranking of the awarding body would contribute to that versus
No, I don't.
below?
No, I don't. Ranking is not important to parents. And Manchester Metropolitan University is ranked 896 in the world, and University of London is ranked out of the top 100. So it's neither of those universities have a ranking virtue. What we have to highlight quality. The fact Manchester Met is Triple Crown approved is the quality assurance mark that we want, not a ranking. So the only part of the world, our world, that is interested in rankings is China, and we don't have product that make them interested. So ranking is not important. And in that context, I'm much more comfortable. If you think about the hierarchy that we have market research for now that proves what parents are interested in, the number one thing they're interested in is what course do you teach, and then what outcome and job would my kid get having studied that course. Everything else is less important, and we need to reflect that in the sequencing of the information. Please.
Okay. Hi. Just in terms like the design, anything else you want to know?
No, I think it looks lovely from a design point of view. I think the only question I would ask is that and this is me from a recollection point of view, but we seem to be using an awful lot of blue.
As in blue, do you mean the text or kind of like the dark background?
The text. All of the text lines and everything else is heavily blue, and our major RMIT is heavily blue. So I would like to understand the rationale behind that.
Yes. So from our perspective, I think like because we went with a kind of higher contrast color, with like this really dark background, and then red as the main kind of accent, we fear that like because we cannot use background as blue because it's not doesn't stick to the brand guidelines as defined by BUV. Like we felt that blue is important to include because it not only kind of showcase like the color of the Union Jack, it brings a little bit of the blue that the brand is already using elsewhere. So that's why we are kind of bringing the blue more into the typography as a way to combined with the red to showcase the UK color scheme, but in a more subtle way versus like using on a background, which we cannot do. We can, however, just make some things like large body of text, maybe grayscale instead of blue, but keeping the headline blue so that we still have the blue, but maybe a lessened degree, like you mentioned.
I think what might be worthwhile doing is just having a look at all of the current marketing communications material that we're producing. And the reality of the situation is we don't use blue.
We do see blue in certain applications, especially on social media, on certain print design, but we can chat about it with the team more to kind of confirm that as well.
If you would, that would be great. I would like to de-emphasize the use of blue, particularly around the type, unless there's an accessibility or legibility issue around us needing to use blue instead of very dark gray or black. I would like to minimize the use of blue, please.
Okay.
But again, have a conversation with the team about it. Massive big headlines like that with the blue type is going to be a problem for our internal stakeholders.
Okay, gotcha.
In our current marketing design, we usually use headline in red color, and if we have something, we use blue. But mostly the headline are in red.
I'm happy us not having masses of red headline on the website. That's fine. Yeah. But again, blue is a very subtle highlight color that we use. It's not a major part of our color palette because it is the major color. It is the major competitive color for RMIT. So we worked very hard over 18 months to walk away from using blue, and I would like to continue that trend, please.
Okay. All right. We can lessen that use case then, and then kind of keeping it more kind of represented, maybe the earnings certain spot, maybe on things like this dark background, which is kind of have a cool gray anyway. So I think that could work where we kind of reduce the blueness of the text elsewhere on the white text and stuff like that. Okay.
Well, we've got a brand identity standards. We need to be sticking as close to the brand identity standards as possible. We don't use blue type in the identity standards. That's what the brand identity book and the rules exist for. So we've got to kind of stay on the rules as much as possible. Okay.
Okay. Do we want to go over the final page, the URL landing page? Yes. I just want to make sure we cover everything. So just a reminder, this is the awarding body detail page. This is where if you click on the logo from the homepage of URL, this is where it's going to take you. It's listed under the awarding bodies. It's a type of content type that you can modify later on. And it's expected that the content blocks in this page are going to be flexible per different university, but we expect some kind of structure to be consistent. So first, we have the University of London, kind of with a text and a CTA, again, with a bar of different jump link that you can jump to with a video on top or image. I think it depends on what you have. Going down, we're going to have a section with an overview of a university, what it makes up, what's the kind of brief history of what you need to know at the forefront before going to the different ranking or achievement of that university. This could be adjusted based on different university on what you have or the number. I think this is representative for the URL university. For going down, we're gonna have because I think like University of London special, we kind of have the section where we talk more about the LSE as well, which is the London School of Economics, just to highlight some of the strength, because we understand that this is the academic direction provider for a lot of BUV courses. before, we can also highlight any sort of alumni from the school here to some kind of carousel. Before going down, we want to highlight some of the overview information, things like what's this cost saving versus studying there, and then some of the key highlights at the program at BUV. We also have the different undergraduate courses that you can study at BUV that is awarded by this body. You can see here we are listing 5 here with Explore course. You can see if you want to see more outside of these courses. And then a entry requirement for specific to this awarding body. And then you can hear some story from alumni that have graduated from program from this awarding body, and then a CTA to connect with our advisor. And then I think this text is wrong, but frequently asked questions similar to the other section, and then a footer. One thing to note is that because we are expecting people to come here already kind of mostly going to be from the course detail page where they already have a course in mind. That's why we want to forefront information about the awarding body upfront versus the course that they may contain. Just because like we're thinking most people are going to come here from the course detail page as they are doing research on their specific course they're interested in. And here you can also see some of the design language that we talk about between A and D is combined, still the same kind of typography and accessibility as the first direction, but using a lot more imagery and kind of full bleed media as a way to break up the content and create visual interest throughout. Yep, and then I think we also have a mobile version here.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so look, just a couple of bits of feedback really, really quickly. I think there seems to be a mild obsession at the moment with the UOL example. I'd be really, really interested in having a link about one of our normal universities rather than the UOL version. And because I think there's 2 things that you need to be aware of. This time next year, we'll be teaching from 4 universities, not 7. So we're going to have less partners. And Manchester Metropolitan University is going to be our major partner. So it's going to be the same page that everybody go to, regardless of probably 60 to 70% of the courses that we'll be teaching will be branded Manchester Metropolitan next year. So I'm less interested in seeing a London University LSE page. I'm more interested in kind of seeing a Manchester Met page. I'm also there's 2 sections I'm uncomfortable with. That one there about reputation. Again, not interested in rankings, not interested in reputation. In the context of us being able to, I mean, yes, there is a page that we need that is about our university reputation. But Manchester Metropolitan, and again, if we can, please, can we get some actual fact? Because I took the university running for the last 6 years, UK accounting, finance, top 6 in the world, great. But in that context, is that true? Don't know. So let's make sure that we're happy that we've got some compelling reputation things behind the awarding body. Ranking is not one of them for Manchester Metropolitan, right? And it's definitely not one for Staffordshire University, which is one of our other partners, right? So we don't make a virtue of their rankings. What we make a virtue is of other things about the qualification, right? So whether it's triple credit or whether it's, you know, awarded 5-star rating, whatever. So that's really important. And then further down, I really, really like the idea of global alumni. I think that's really cool. Particularly it's particularly easy with LSE. It's going to be super hard for Manchester Metropolitan.
Yes.
In that context, because, you know, they're the 890th ranked university in the world. But if you keep scrolling down, there was another section I think that's unnecessary. That section about 70% off. Don't worry about it. I think that needs to come out. I think the key message about earning a London degree in Vietnam is a marketing message. It's not necessarily something that I think needs to be a whole section on the page.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's certainly not the same message by university awarding partner, right? Manchester Met is going to be a very different percentage. It's going to look a lot less attractive. Because our price is going to be much more realistic, right? So again, I just think it's an unnecessary waste of real estate. I'd rather get them to the actual course pages if they're looking at the awarding body first.
Okay.
So in the context of information hierarchy, parents are interested in what the course gets me, what the course is, what job I get having got that qualification, where it comes from, and how it's going to be. Right?
Yes. So yeah, so this page wouldn't focus on the course, because like they would most likely already know what the course is before they come to this page. Do you feel like then you want to highlight something else about like the course taught by UOL here instead?
Well, I think again, kind of outcome stories, right? Alumni stories.
Yeah.
So as a
so
priority,
this part
is at the bottom of the page, should be much further up the information hierarchy on the scroll. Right?
Okay.
One question for regarding to this kind of awarding body page. So right now the purpose of it is for the people who already know own our course and click to the awarding body and go through this page. But furthermore, if we want to run the branding campaign for the awarding body, for example, Manchester Met to create awareness, and want to drive the traffic into the Manchester Met landing page. So how this page and this page is the same or different?
The plan is not to do that.
Oh, right. Why not we running URL and drive the traffic into some URL landing page?
Yeah, UOL only. We're not going to be running a Manchester Met advertising campaign.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think like I would say that like this page we imagine it could be flexible based on your need. So if you have a really special program or campaign, you can highlight that in this page, or modify the content to highlight that specific campaign or whatever the content is. But I think like largely we want if the campaign is about the school or like about the specific awarding body, then it should really be using this page as the basis for that.
Yeah, so the question is for Paul.
Yeah, so the brand plan that we have is not to be advertising individual awarding body product at all. The reason that we're currently running a UOL campaign is because for the first 5 months of this year and the last 3 months of last year, we ran a very expensive advertising campaign saying, here's a 50% discount on Manchester Metropolitan University product, which made us look like a cheap university. The reason we're currently running an expensive looking ad for UOL is to try and make us not look so cheap. But the future is going to be looking very different from a brand perspective. And we're going to spend very little time advertising specifically our partner as a reason to come here.
Yes.
We're going to be spending a lot more time advertising the outcome, which is jobs and placement and return on investment. That's the future. Right. So making a virtue of our partners is absolutely fine as part of the overall site architecture, but having a customer journey that's deliberately driven to use this as an acquisition entry point into our website, I think will be much less something I'm excited about than getting people to come straight to a core.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing also, is that overall we want to kind of de-emphasize a little bit of the awarding body kind of content and kind of prioritize things like the result and the statistic and the testimonial versus like just the awarding body ranking or kind of achievement. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want to make, I'm uncomfortable about us going to market saying, come and study a UOL degree here because it's the greatest university, blah, 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 blah. I'd rather come and say, come and study here to go work for BS. It's for, because if you study a UOL, you can get a job at Boston Consulting, or if you study a UOL, you get a job at Merrill Lynch, or if you study a UOL, you can get a job running the government.
It's not about the
it's about the outcome.
Outcome, yes.
Okay. So maybe, yeah. So yes, I think it is clear. I think we can modify. I think a lot of the section here could still be like the module here still be useful, but like I think we just need to reshuffle them.
Yeah, so
based
look,
on
I think,
outcomes.
and I guess two things. One, apologies for being late, and apologies for being a bit abrupt. But I think overall, from a look and feel perspective, I think it looks significantly better than our current website. I really like the way that we're using the design. I think the design I'm really comfortable with. So overall, from a look and feel point of view, from a design perspective, yep, pretty much in that regard. I think from a layout perspective, I think we just need to give you guys some advice about information layout from a sequencing for some of the key sections of the website.
Yeah.
Because I think we're much closer to how parents want to consume information and the sequence in which they want to consume that information than you guys might be. And I don't want you guessing. And I think there are some specific things that we need to be clear about highlighting, which are things like success stories. And what I absolutely want to avoid doing is promoting on every course page masses of scholarship content. If you want a scholarship, there's a level 1 navigation that says fees and scholarships. If I'm interested in a scholarship, I'm going to go to that link. That's the first navigation link on the top of the layer 1.
Yeah.
You know? So again, I'm uncomfortable about making lots of noise in a content page that isn't. Here's how good the education is. Here's how good the outcomes are. Here's the course detail to give you a sense of how interesting and fun it's going to be. And in that context, here's some alumni stories, or here's some companies that these people work for. Right? Those are kind of those are the hot buttons for parents.
So from the side, I understand that every single page should only represent for the main pillar of content or message, and then another thing like a subtle additional one, not display every other thing.
No, I think there are a couple of inflammatory issues. We have a reputation at the moment for being scholarship. Right? So we're not having scholarships at the moment, but lots of parents read the word scholarship and then see the word discount. And that is something I want to change. So if every course page, and we're going to have 27 courses next year, every course page has a section on scholarships, no thank you, right? A call to action that says, if you want to find out about a scholarship, go to the scholarship section. That works better for me. It also makes the page shorter in the whole section. Right? So I think we just need to be really, really clear about what is the intent that parents have in consuming the different sections of the website. And I'm not sure that we've had that conversation as a level 2 or a level 3 content architecture conversation. This is a design conversation. I'm expecting us still to have a content architecture conversation separately.
Well, yes.
I mean, have that kind of.
So from a design point of view, I'm happy to approve this as a design direction. If you guys are all happy broadly with it, I don't have any significant problems, other than we need to fix the blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
looks great.
You have
any
comment? We have a lot of a list of
like
minor comment.
What do you think?
Overall, it's okay. Maybe minor details we will work it out with the team.
We will keep the feedback only from the minor.
Yeah, that's fine. But I mean, this is the combination of the version 1 and the version 2 we saw last week. So I think it looks great. So let's
maybe you want to see the homepage.
Yes.
Quick, can you come back to the homepage? Yeah, so we can review it. Not this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious, Paul, if you have any, or the team, do you have any feedback on this page specifically? Mostly, just want to highlight, but it's mostly a combination of 2 options with some more emphasis on media and less emphasis on the white negative space.
Yeah, that's fine. My only concern is that it looks like can I make the assumption that that is not likely to be what the front of the homepage looks like with the blue building on it?
Yes, most likely we will need some kind of video here, like
Right.
I think we talked about earlier, but
With a play button on it then.
Yes.
No,
yes,
put a
we
play.
have a pause button.
It play is a play.
And
Or you mentioned on the right one.
yeah, and just one small note, a small note for the video that maybe CDA forgot to mention. The video should be really short version.
yeah.
No,
Create the mood and
Yeah. No. Yeah. But again, I mean, I think for me, I think one of the things that we have to make sure is that that video is dynamic. So if you come back to it a second time, it's a different video.
Yes.
Right.
It's on a feature list, so now we'll discuss
Correct.
with you.
Yeah. So again, this is kind of part of the content strategy that we now have to think about, but from a layout perspective, how does it look on a mobile? Because the only reason I ask is because the navigation across the top of the page, if you just go back one slide, sorry, looks very delicate across the top of the page.
Yes, this is a alternative version that we just keeping here in case you want to reconsider. I think like most likely, if we want to make sure that the navigation is clear and not susceptible to legibility issue, then we probably want just a bar on the right at the top to ensure maximally that we can swap out the image comfortably and doesn't run into any legibility issue.
My concern at the moment on that desktop page is the navigation text size feels too small. YBP courses student experience feels too small.
I would say that this view is going to be on a 1920 pixel desktop. This is for presentation purpose. We kind of zoom it back a little bit here. But on an actual device, I think it's going to be pretty big.
Okay, great. That's fine. It's just that reassurance. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
We can give you the more detailed feedback on next follow-up meeting or later on. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, no, of course. But look, I think we're going in exactly the right direction. So that's
Thank you.
Anh này, mình có thêm khoảng tầm
we're gonna have to make lots of
20
videos.
phút đâu.
Sure.
Okay.
It's on the
Chiều
branding campaign.
Không thế thì ngôn để suy sẽ tập hợp lại.
The process,
How's the research started?
it's gonna be on the 14th for Ho Chi Minh City and 19th in Hanoi. So if you want to join the concept test, so we're checking about the schedule. I will join
Thì anh ơi,
in Hanoi.
để we ra từ lại feedback về những cái major thì team nốt lại với nhá.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Còn có một số cái nó gọi là về detail, cái phần wording với cả habit này. Hello, nghe được không? Tức là những cái những cái major mà bác vừa ấy thì we sẽ không nốt lại nữa, bởi vì mình có record rồi thì team cũng nốt rồi, thì còn chỉ có những cái mà minor ấy, như kiểu là có wording ở một số chỗ mình vẫn đang kiểu vẫn đang có cái lỗi, ví dụ như cái đoạn student experience, ví dụ thế, cả một vài cái một vài cái hình ảnh media mà mình có nhận feedback với nhau rồi mà team vẫn đang sử dụng, nói chung là những cái minor thì we sẽ cho we cái link mà xem ở cái view page ấy, thì we sẽ comment luôn nhá, comment để cho team làm sao. Còn
thì mình có để nó ra thành một cái file Figma bên trong cái trang external POV á, thì có gì Huy cứ comment vào đó nhé.
Ok. Thế tức là bây giờ mọi người muốn nhận comment luôn trên Figma ở dạng page đúng không? Và comment trên file external.
Dạ, comment cái file cái để mình share cho nó rõ. Nhưng mà trong cái file Figma
trong gửi cho Huy rồi đấy.
Đây, ok,
dạ,
ok.
nhưng mà nó
Comment Thư sẽ tổng hợp với team và comment trên cái này để mọi người biết luôn là phần nào là như nào. Hay là cái tên ra cho mọi người luôn nhỉ? Mọi người có thể comment đấy luôn. Ok, thì
mình
có cần đi lấy email đúng không? Lấy email của mọi người đúng không?
Đó, mình comment được mà. Cứ đăng ký vào được đúng không?
Cứ đăng ký
Mà em đã
vào.
mở quyền như thế rồi đúng không? Đang là cảnh quay đấy.
Có gì mọi người tổng hợp lại feedback xong rồi comment một đợt với mình được không? Thì như vậy sẽ tiện hơn cho phía bên CDA.
Rồi, ok, thế thì
Để mình tránh bị
đi tổng hợp lại rồi comment một lượt. Với cả là hôm nay outcome là về overall look and feel là ok rồi đúng không? Nhưng mà cái phần program base thì có nhiều cái điều chỉnh thì mọi người expect là khi nào có thể update lại được. Để cái bản tiếp theo thì Huy sẽ gửi cho bác xem ở chắc là xem Figma đi scroll được. Rồi có gì comment thì Huy sẽ collect luôn và gửi qua file chứ mình không meeting nữa để xếp sang thì cho Huy cái
ok.
những cái homepage thì nó khó hơn nhiều nhưng mà cái program page thì rất là nhiều này. Thì cái program page mọi người bao nhiêu ngày
Với cả bọn em lấy nội dung trên website thì cứ bắt đầu lấy gần dần những cái thông tin đúng đi nhé.
Ok. Mình sẽ cần phải sắp xếp lại những cái phần ở đây một chút á, thì chắc là sẽ khoảng thứ 6 này mình gửi lại được không nhỉ?
rồi cảm ơn mọi người thì chiều nay mình sẽ collect feedback và comment ở trên cái file Figma đấy thì để nó gửi cái link để forward cái link này cho mọi người xong mọi người có thể xem giúp em. Hai cái link này là cái trên là như nào Nam nhỉ? Cái dưới như nào đang không rõ.
Cái trên là link presentation lúc nãy, còn cái dưới là link mà có thể comment được.
Ok, thì em cứ gửi cho mọi người cái link comment đấy nhưng mọi người đừng comment nhé để cứ tổng hợp lại rồi.
Nam ơi,
Dạ.
chia cho anh các cái batch và xếp cho anh một buổi ngồi AA với bác đi nhé. Mình phải consolidate cả AA và cả AA của bọn em phải có cái content intent như bác nói, cái keyword intent hoặc whatever intent của khách hàng.
Vâng.
Ngày mai anh go through đi, cái đấy là cái cực kỳ quan trọng mà đúng ra là mình đã gửi rồi nhưng mà vẫn phải go through một buổi đấy. Và detail luôn đấy.
Dạ vâng.
Có thêm intent nhé, user intent nhé.
Bây giờ
Nó
intent
sẽ
cho
là
từng page đúng không? Là mục tiêu cái page đấy để làm gì?
ít nhất là đến level 2, còn level 3 thì nó sẽ đã là nằm trong level 2 rồi thì nó không quá là ấy, nhưng mà ít nhất level 2 em phải được là với cái page này em xếp ở level 2 thì intent của em muốn cho người ta những cái thông tin gì, hoặc là người ta vào đây ví dụ như keywords về search nào đúng không, search thì nó sẽ reflect cái intent của bọn em. Rồi sau khi mà xong cái IA rồi thì bọn em phải chia cho anh các cái batch về design để bọn anh bắt đầu internal bọn anh tính cái phương án nhé. Batch ví dụ như batch 1 thì bọn em là tất cả những cái trang lên homepage và những trang liên quan đến homepage, ví dụ như là homepage about us hay là nhà đấy, mà tất cả những cái batch mà nội dung liên quan này. Batch 2 có thể là school này, hay batch 3 nhà đấy thì chia dần đi nhé. Và
đi là anh đang giữ cái tiêu chí là theo cái timeline hay là đấy.
Rồi, cái logic về việc chia batch này nữa là có liên quan đến việc là có một số page mà anh sẽ phải làm việc, và có những thứ nhất là tiêu chí đầu tiên là các cái page trong một batch nó có nội dung nó liên quan đến nhau gần nhất, để làm sao để là khi mà bọn anh duyệt thì bọn anh sẽ có được cái sự liên kết giữa các bài, các cái content. Cái thứ hai là có một số page mà anh sẽ phải làm việc với các cái team bên ngoài thì bọn em sẽ nhóm cả những cái page đấy vào một batch, ví dụ như là smell này, SA này, AO này, thì sẽ là những cái bước mà bọn anh sẽ phải làm việc với các team bên ngoài. Thì phần này Huy sẽ support bọn em là define nếu như cần nhé. Và batch thứ ba là những cái bước còn lại. Thế thì batch 1 thì more về tập trung vào cái nhóm là các cái page mà cần thiết cho launching đợt ngày 25 tháng 9 này thì trong batch 1 để em chia làm các cái batch nhỏ hơn của batch 1 sau. Cái này có gì chưa clear không?
Vâng, thế em sẽ làm những cái trang mà sẽ trước cuối tháng 9 và những trang sau cuối tháng 9, rồi trong những trang trước thì em sẽ chia nó thành các batch, khoảng 3 batch.
Thì trong cái phần này để quick lại một tí, tức là trong cái batch mà cần phải launch vào cuối tháng 9 ấy, launch trước vào cuối tháng 9 ấy, thì có những cái nào nó là những cái việc mà cái nào mà nó liên quan đến nhiều phòng ban hay một phòng ban, thì cái này thì em nghĩ là để cho mình define nội bộ để mình làm việc.
Không, nhưng mà em sẽ ngồi cùng các bạn để bạn chia luôn, bởi vì bạn bạn đi gửi một cái batch mà có tất cả những cái thằng mà phải liên hệ với từng phòng ban khác nhau ấy, thì em sẽ sắp xếp cái timeline feedback của nó, cái đấy sẽ phải feedback xa hơn, hiểu không?
Em đang hiểu là cái việc mà mình làm, đợi hơn một xíu nhé. Nam ơi, mình cứ wrap up cái meeting lại rồi chiều có gì đi share sau nhé.
Yeah, ok,
Thank you.
ok.
Thank you mọi người.
Thank you, Vin.
Ok, mừng.
Thank you mọi người.